Now, how much would you say the script changed from the moment you arrived to opening night? What percentage of the script was actually
25%.
25%?
The whole ending. They got the wrong ending. They got an early draft. So I came into rehearsal and...
Hi, guys.
Yeah. And they're running the end of the show. And I went, wait. And I look at the stage manager. I said, dude, can I see your script?
Oh, no.
And it was the wrong ending. And one of the many millions of endings I had gone through. And I said... And they looked at me, deer in the headlights, and they said, what are you talking about? I said, that's not the ending. That's not how it ends.
And then how much time to opening?
Less than a week.
No.
No, a week. Maybe a full week. Yeah. Yeah.
And 25% of it changed, and they still liked you when it was all over?
I don't know. That I don't know. It was on Facebook the whole next day. The entire ending is different.
You probably managed to salvage the friendship with the director, but the rest of them were...
Well, we immediately ran back to his office and got my computer, got my draft, put it on a flash drive. You know, They had the new pages that night.
Right.
So, yeah, they had it for a week.
Wow.
It was great. You know, my friend Earl was, as a teacher, he was thinking, this is so good for them.
Put them through heck.
Yeah, just throw it at them at the last minute. I felt bad, but, you know,
that's
it
the way
happens.
it goes.
That's the way it goes.
That's theater.
And then I saw the old ending, and then I saw the new ending, and I was even more sure that the new ending was better, much better.
Oh, good. So you got to see them both.
Yeah, I did.
Walk away more.
Well, the one, it was just, what? That's the end? What was I thinking? It didn't leave you with anything, and there was a twist. It was probably an hour and 45 minutes with a 15-minute intermission. Perfect night of theater, in my opinion. And then everyone stayed for the talkback. And the talkback lasted 90 minutes. They had to kick them out. They said, we have to close the theater. That's how long they were very enthusiastic. It's a college crowd. It's
so they're really in to the learning and the
right. And they were picking my brain when things I couldn't even remember. There are moments.
And it lasted an hour and a half.
An hour and a half.
I would have gone, wow,
It's
I'm still picking my brain. There must still be stuff in there to pick.
Well, barely. So they were asking things like, how'd you come up with the title? Or when you were writing that one scene, blah, 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 how did you? And
it's hard to say I don't know because people expect you to know everything about what you write.
And it wasn't yesterday. I mean, this was a long process for this play to come to fruition. It had originally started as a short story. I don't know if you knew that. It was a 6 or 7 page short story. And then I thought, I would like to see this on stage. I would like to see these relationships on stage.
Oh, it's great.
So the talkback was amazing. It was fantastic. And the playwright in residence for UCF was there. And I was and the chair of the department, I was a little nervous. And one question I remember in particular, I said, I reluctantly, sometimes I want to guide the actors, but I don't want to overdo it. And I might be a little heavy with my use of adverbs because I like to tell them how to say certain lines.
Absolutely.
And he said, this playwright in residence, David Lee is his name.
David Lee.
And he said, I wish I could remember exactly what he said, but he mentioned Eugene O'Neill, and he said Eugene O'Neill uses a lot of adverbs telling the actors where to go. He said the more you can guide them, they want that information. They want to know what's in your head.
I agree.
So he sort of patted me on the head and said, yes, do it that way. I'm always a little cautious of putting, it might be the actor in me, you know, tell me how to say this line.
Yeah, but they can always choose something else because it's
Absolutely.
not dialogue. But you know, when you talk about Eugene O'Neill, I think about Long Day's Journey into Night. The stage directions, he actually describes the slant of the nose.
Yeah.
I mean, actors can't control that.
Exactly.
How can you control the slant of your nose?
Right, you can't.
But that's great that he really did affirm you in that.
Yes, that the more specific the writer can be, it will only serve the play.
Yes.
And that's what the actors are there for, to serve the play. It was incredibly gratifying. I was nervous. I don't know that I will ever be as nervous with an opening as I was with Fat Girls, because that was my life.
The first one.
Yeah, it was the first one, and it was completely me. It's just me up there all over the place.
Right.
You know, and then that was the other question that you'll always get as a writer. So is this autobiographical? And then I get, yeah, I get, you know, a little in a tizzy. I think, you know, give us writers some credit.
Yeah, we do have imaginations.
Yeah, we do. Maybe we start with something that we know and then expand. And
Right.
you know, so I was of course asked that question. Is the character of Claire you? And I said, in some aspects, but
Well,
not
you're really
totally.
all the characters, aren't you?
Of course.
Or they at least all spring forth from you.
Right.
Yeah.
Or they are based on people I know. They're a conglomeration of many different people that have been in my life.
Yeah,
So.
people. You know, writers get their ideas from the wind will change its direction. Oh, and
Right.
you get an idea.
That's right.
They come from everywhere. But I think it's natural for people to assume that it's something and you know they should think that if you've written it well,
Right.
That's probably
That must be
why.
her life. The play was so good it couldn't have been something
couldn't
she
have made
could
it up.
Right.
Why do you think it is you became a playwright?
Well, I always loved. I'm a huge reader. I thank my parents for that. From little kid, you know, summer reading programs at the library, all of that. It's one of my favorite. I just said it to my mom the other day. I said it was so nice to sit down with a novel. I haven't just been able to sit and read a book, but I brought a book on the plane with me to New York, and it was so nice to escape. So the written word has always been very important to me. I've kept a journal since I was 18 years old. I've always loved writing. I never thought that I had the talent for it. And it really is spaghetti thrown on the walls, and some of it would stick and some did not. And so I think that I've been writing my whole life, never calling myself a writer. Loving the theater with the passion. It's my greatest passion. And to this day, everything that I've been through, everything that I know, all my bitterness, I still get excited.
All your joy.
All my joy. When I go into the theater, it's exciting. When I went and saw other people's work at the festival, it was exciting.
You know, Peter Colley, I just interviewed him for this show, the Writer's Desk, and he said he can travel from city to city and feel like a stranger, but the moment he goes into a theater, he feels that he's come home.
That's absolutely right. It's family, because we speak the same language. It happened at Samuel French Festival. We had 30 minutes to tech the play. I mean, it's only a 10-minute play, but they kudos to Samuel French, because that festival was so well organized.
Well produced.
So well produced, so well organized. The communication with the coordinators.
Was it Kenneth Dingledine? What did he have to do with it?
He was one of the festival coordinators. That was his title.
Great.
And also Billy Davis was the woman who I was primarily in touch with throughout the process prior to my getting to New York. Finally got to meet her at Tech, and I said, man, you are running this like a well-oiled machine. Yeah.
And they've done it for a while.
35 years.
35 years. And what's the full title of the festival? Do you remember?
It was the 35th annual Samuel French Off-Broadway Short Play Festival. That's the whole title.
Wow,
couldn't say
that's
it in
a
one
book in
breath.
itself.
Yeah, it is.
Which reminds me back to your mom encouraging you. Is it both your parents to read?
Well, both my parents, yes, to encourage me to read. So always a reader, always keeping a journal, always writing, documenting. I am an observer, and it served me as an actor too, to just observe human behavior, and that was wonderful. And I have to say, I will tell you this, that I'm not going to say I said goodbye, but to realize that the writer hat fit me better than the actor hat.
Yeah.
It was a little bit bittersweet.